G'day all. This is a video of a vertical jump I did and had a self-induced toggle fire, so I'll just talk you guys through it. Definitely made a bit of a mistake here. I was using a new canopy. I just recently had a malfunction actually, and rented a main canopy, and it had extra long brake lines, which kind of caught me by surprise. I didn't really need to worry about this in my previous canopy. So I had the lines double stowed on this jump, and you'll see a few pauses where I've shown the double stowed lines. And what ended up happening was the slider, as I pulled the slider down, it unstowed the lines and left it really big, large loop appeared. So you see the deployment, and on the left there, you'll see the double stowed lines just under the slider. So it's all looking good at that point. Won't look good for long. So that's where the loop opens up. So my double stow's come undone, and now it's just through the keeper at the back. Big wide loop there, which I just wasn't used to. My other canopy has much shorter brake lines, so really not used to this. This is a pulse actually. So I was used to flying a pilot. This is a pulse. So here it is. I've put my fingers straight through the loop and grabbed the toggle. So unintentionally put my fingers through the loop. Here it's really slow. I felt it on my finger. I've gone, what the hell is that? I've released my finger from the loop and it's created that knot. At that point, I probably could have paused and undone it. Here I've realized my mistake. I've gone, oh shit. I knew exactly how to mal at this point. I was checking my alti. I'm at 2,800 feet. I have three options at this point. The first, of course, is to initiate emergency procedures, which I could have done. The second is to remove the knot entirely, and the third is to lower the knot all the way down and to trim up that main canopy. So that's really what I'm trying to do with the time available. Here I'm at 2,300 feet. I've got an idea of where the drop zone is and my altitude. I'm pulling down on that brake line. I've got my hands on that knot. I'm generating some slack, almost there, and very close to either removing it entirely or reducing the length of that excessive line in between the toggle. Here I've pulled that knot down from above the elastic keeper down to below, and then I've gone, no, I'm at hard deck, drop that knot all the way down and trim up that main canopy and then commit to that rear riser landing. Just to give you guys an idea of my decision making here, the wind at this point was a medium strength wind. We've got a 10 knot easterly wind at this particular drop zone, so really quite perfect conditions for a rear riser landing for me in my particular situation and where I'm at with skydiving. I had contemplated and thought about and read a lot about rear riser landings and was ready to do one and wanting to do one. Done some training in the USA where they really have an emphasis on rear riser landings for situations like this. This is in Australia. And also I'd watched a video recently a couple of months ago where a guy had the same thing actually, fortuitously, and he'd had a toggle lock and worse than this one, and he'd overcome it by taking a wrap on his hand on the toggle away from where the lock was to trim up the canopy, but then had depowered it a little bit. So I was quite happy to move that knot down and keep the canopy nice and level, but also powered up at this point in time. Throughout the turn, I'd done some harness inputs as well, just to minimize the amount of turn, and had noticed that even with the toggle lock as it was, the canopy wasn't really turning that much, even with a harness turn. So even if I couldn't move that knot down or get rid of it, it would still fly pretty level. So here I am coming in. I'm trying to land a little bit early and avoid that tree. It's my first rear riser landing, so I started the approach a little bit high, came in. It was a pretty nice landing, slightly faster than what I wanted. Did flare a little bit low. Didn't want to stall the canopy on a rear riser landing and really stab into it, but all in all, pretty happy. Now I'll just show you guys some photos I took when I tried to reproduce this on the ground to see what happened. So on the left, you pull the toggle. If you put your hand through the enlarged loop, you pull your toggle down and it will come through that loop. And then as you begin to relax it, the loop will retract and it's located below the elastic keeper there. Then when you fully release the toggle, the tension from the main canopy through the brake lines above will pull that loop from below the elastic keeper to above the elastic keeper. At that point, you have a pretty serious tension knot in and around that elastic keeper, which is damn near impossible to release. So that was my experience, and my experience alone. Have a think about this video and what you would do in this situation. Chat about it with your coach or your instructor to think about what you would do in this situation, and have fun out there. Cheers.